Hi, good afternoon. Do you know, I was talking to one of my clients earlier this week, and she told me a very interesting story about a man that she'd met in an art gallery. He sold paintings for a lot of money, and he was asking her what she did. And before she told him, she'd asked him where he got his suit, and he said Armani. And she'd also asked him where he would go if a loved one died. In terms of funeral parlours, etc. And he said, oh, well, there's one down on the high street. And when she revealed to him that she actually was a funeral director, she pointed out to him that he'd spent more time thinking about where he got his suit from and taking more effort to go and get a suit from Armani in the centre of Manchester or wherever it was, an hour away, where he could have gone to Marks and Spencer's 15 minutes down the road. And he'd poo-pooed that idea because, he wanted his suits from Armani. And she said to him, but you're taking more care and attention about choosing your suit for work than about where you would go to look after your loved one when they passed. And it really, brought the point home to him that perhaps he should be thinking a little bit more about that. And unfortunately, that happens with recruitment as well. And, if I said to you, what are you going to buy your partner for Christmas? Are you going to buy the first thing in the first shop that you go to? Is it all about speed and just getting it done and out the way? You might say yes, but probably a little bit more thought would go into it. With recruitment, the problem is that a lot of people, I don't know if you do this, they'll put their job out to multiple agencies because they think that gives them the best chance of getting the best candidate. And do you know what? The exact opposite is the truth. Because think about it. Agencies, most traditional agencies anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute, most agencies work on the basis of the person who places the person in your business, they're the one who gets the fee. So if an agency is up against 3 or 4 other agencies, what do you think is going to happen? Are they going to take loads of time making sure that every single candidate they send over to you is perfect in every respect before they send them? Or is it, do you think, all about speed? Yeah, just think about that for a minute. Because let me tell you, it's all about speed. Now you might think that's a good thing, because you want to get the role filled quickly, don't you? Because it's, it's a pain in the butt when somebody leaves, frankly, and you weren't expecting it, and now you've got a big hole, and you just need to get it filled quickly, don't you? That's why I put it out to loads of agencies. No, wrong. Chances are you'll be recruiting that position again 2, 3, 6, 12 months down the line. And how much money has that cost you in the meantime? So don't do that. You see, that's why I don't work in competition with any other agencies. As you will know if you've worked with me in the past. I only work at director level anyway now for small businesses, and people pay me as they engage me over a several monthly period to get that job done for them. And that's because the quality of the person that you're taking on is paramount. Now, maybe if you're a big business, you can afford to make mistakes and it doesn't matter. Just put a bum on a seat for 6 months and then put another one on and then another one on. That's fine. But actually, in a small business, that's really not the way to go. The way to go is to take your time up front to get the right person. Now, it has been the case that I will find the exact perfect person for somebody the day after I take a vacancy on. It doesn't happen very often, but it has occasionally happened in the past. Mostly, though, it takes a bit more time. It can take 4 weeks. It can take 8 weeks. It can take 6 months sometimes, depending on the seniority of the role, to find the exact right person. But you see, isn't that worth doing? Rather than just taking the first person that comes along who looks right. Because the agencies had to get the CV over very, very quickly. Because if they don't get paid, and that's your fault because that's how you've set things up to be. So if you want the job done properly in recruitment, whoever you're using, and if you don't know who you should be using, I'm quite happy to give you some recommendations. But, if you really want it done properly, then Talk to me about how to have that relationship with your agency, how to find out whether they're an agency you should be working for in the first place or not. Because let's face it, all agencies, they fish in the same pool. They have the same candidates. Not, 100% of the time, but a lot of the time. So it's not about who can find the candidate. They can find the candidate if you give them the time and the brief and the quality of information they need to be able to do a good job for you. Guess what? They'll do a good job for you. If you just think all the agencies are the same and you're just going to pay them the least you can possibly get away with, and you're going to put it out to as many agencies as possible because that gives you a better chance of getting the candidates, you're completely looking at it the wrong way. Anyway, just thought I'd shake things up a bit for a Thursday afternoon this week. Have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.